Leo, welcome to your reading for the week of October 25th. This week we are going to jump right in here, Leo, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. We're also going to pull 3 yes or no question cards at the end of the reading, and I will give you time to think of your questions. If you don't have questions, that's fine. I will be putting all 3 cards together and just answering them all together. But Leo, let's see here. Pretty good reading here is what I would say to you. Definitely, I feel like a lot of forward progress here in your life in general. I mean, you have the Chariot, the Emperor. Kind of, I mean, to me, the Chariot and the Emperor, kind of as your outcome here, is like coming up with a plan, sticking to it, seeing it through to the end, and being successful. Can't beat that. Doesn't really matter what your plan is. To me, this looks like things going according to plan. I know that sounds simple, but I mean, after the past year and a half, that would be pretty good to me. If things went according to plan, right? Here in your current energies, you have the 2 Wands. It's kind of weird. I get like a very dreamy energy off of this card. Kind of makes sense. Normally, the 2 Wands, in a traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's the guy, he's got the world in his hands, and he's grabbing onto the front wand, and he's looking off into the distance. So, could be kind of like dreamy, daydreamy energy, and that's like what I'm picking up on here, where it's like some of you are starting to daydream. He's standing at the top of a castle, on that card as well. So it kind of represents the fact that he's behind walls. So it's like you're dreaming. I feel like you're seeing through the cracks of something here almost, kind of like as if you were at the top of the castle. It kind of represents the fact that like he is yearning for adventure, when he is at the top of the 2 Wands. I consider it to be a good card, but it's like traditionally the 2 Wands, it's kind of like a card of yearning, wanting to go off on an adventure, kind of, because he's looking at the world, which kind of is him remembering all the adventures, all the things that he was and all the things that he did in life, and he's wanting more of that, right? And I kind of feel that energy for you here. It's when you read the 2 Wands like that, it is kind of considered to be more of a challenge. I don't really necessarily think that for you. I feel like there are more adventures for you. I feel like there are more things for you to do. Your crossing energy is the 6 of Swords here. 6 of Swords is like going through some sort of rite of passage, or letting go of something. I just get the sense like right here, with these 3 cards, 4 of Swords, Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, it's popping into my head and plus this 6 of Swords here, crossing energy. It's like I feel like there's a very strong need for you to look at a repeat lesson. And what I mean by that is it's like sometimes I think we have things that we experience multiple times that are like a little bit challenging, or we could experience things like endings in the same way. In relationships, for example, maybe they all end the same way. In jobs, maybe we quit in the same way, or maybe we reach a certain point in our business or in our job and we quit, or we stop, or we don't keep pushing forward. It kind of says, look at those, that's the energy I'm getting here for you, Leo. I feel like the best thing you could do if you are feeling stuck, or even if you're not, I feel like some of you could be fine, but maybe, things could always get better. Things can always improve, right? And so I feel like this is saying, like, maybe look at something that has been repeating in your life. I feel like you could find a lot of answers in that. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the King of Cups. Very kind, caring, compassionate type of energy. I actually feel like your emotions are in a very stable place at this time, which is good. I always say the King of Cups to me is a really good card for manifesting, because as long as he's staying in that heightened state where his emotions are moving in the right direction, then he can attract things very, very quickly into his life. Here in the area of your foundation, you have the Knight of Swords. So I feel like you're charging forward. I would definitely double check anything that you're doing. I feel like you always get this card. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's you, Leo, that always gets the Knight of Swords. I feel like I'm always saying to you, just double check things you're doing. It could just be, I get like that hasty kind of rushing energy here, and I would just like take your time. Even if you're getting into a relationship, for example, there's no need to rush. I feel like there's no need to lock a person down or whatever. I feel like if you're doing that, it's like you're squeezing something too tightly here. It kind of reminds me of the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups in reverse, there's that fish that's in the cup on the Page of Cups. If he, in reverse, it kind of represents the fact that he could be squeezing something so tightly that it's just going to pop out of his hand and escape into the water, right? So, that's like even though you don't have the Page of Cups here, that's the energy that I'm kind of picking up here, where it's like if you rush something, you're going to be squeezing onto something too tightly. So don't do that. In the area of your past, you have the 4 Swords, so I feel like you're healing. I feel like you've gone through a healing period. I almost feel like there are blessings coming in for you here as well. Next, in the area of the near future, you have the Page of Swords here. I feel like you need to be curious, right? The Page of Swords is a card of curiosity, kind of looking into things. I feel like you need to ask more questions about things as well. I feel like you need to, like, I'm getting something about reframing situations as well, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think it's like the way you look at things is what needs to change here with the Page of Swords. Didn't I say this to you recently? I'm getting a very similar message here, is what I would say. I feel like maybe the way you look at things is kind of holding you back in some way. And that's popping into my head here. I was reading a book like a while ago. I think it's called Atomic Habits. And in that book, I'm pretty sure he talks about reframing, but he talks about something where it's like, there's a section where he's talking about meditation, not doing it, but he's like saying, in meditation, people always think like, oh, if I meditate, I have to clear my mind. And then they get upset when they can't clear their mind. Like maybe you can only clear your mind for like 2 seconds, right? And then the thoughts start coming in. And so people get upset by that. His point to that in the book is that he basically says, again, it's been a while since I read that book, so don't quote me on this, Leo. But his point is that if we didn't have those intrusive thoughts when we're meditating, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of meditating. We're meditating so that we can learn how to clear our thoughts. So it's like if we didn't have it, then we wouldn't technically be clearing our thoughts if we didn't have to clear our thoughts, right? That's popping into my head for you here, where it's like I feel like there are other things like that in your life where it's kind of like the way you're looking at it is changing or needs to change, and because it's like if you could be looking at it like meditation, where you're saying to yourself, like I feel like there's a situation where you're saying that it like exists one way, but really it's something different like that. I don't know, that's confusing. I hope that makes sense, is what I'd say, Leo. Probably not. Here in the area of the next few months, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands can definitely be a card of burdens, but to me, it is a card of accomplishment. Tens are the end, and they're walking towards a village. It's like they're about to accomplish or reach their goal. I really feel that the Ten of Wands is encouraging you to keep pushing forward. I feel like it's encouraging you to not stop working towards your goal. I feel like you're very close to accomplishing something. I really feel this is kind of more saying, don't stop now, Leo. It's like you're almost at the end of the road. You're almost at your destination. So I feel like you need to keep pushing here. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the Four of Pentacles. Again, holding on too tightly is what I would say to you here. I would be careful of that energy. Both ways, by the way. I would be careful of like trying to hold on to people too tightly because I feel like they're just going to pop away, right? I feel like if you're just free, open, say, and people are maybe you're noticing it, right? You're feeling it. Maybe you're noticing how people are coming and going into your life. But I feel like almost having no attachment to it would be a good idea. And it will also just keep people in your life, right? It's like when you don't need people, then they'll be there, right? Plain and simple. But I would also be careful the other way. And what I mean by that is it's like there could be people who are kind of like overstepping boundaries, I feel, intuitively. I don't think they're doing this, in a bad way, more in the sense of like protection. It's like sometimes I think people maybe enter into our lives and it's like they try to do things for us that they think are helping, like giving us advice or whatever, including me, right? Don't listen to me, as I always say. And people think I'm joking, but I tell people all the time, don't listen to me. But at the same time, it's like I feel like we need to draw boundaries. So I'm kind of, it's popping into my head here that there could be people who are like doing things for you or saying things to you, but maybe it's time to draw some boundaries. Next, in the area of your future feelings, feeling victorious here, Leo. I feel like you're feeling like you are accomplishing a lot. I feel like you're feeling successful, driven, motivated, ready to go. I kind of feel like this Chariot hasn't started yet intuitively. So it's almost like in the near future, you're going to be accomplishing this. Like maybe you're clearly wrapping something up, like a project or something you've been working on for a long time. Even if you're retired, it could be a project. It could be, this to me is looking like some sort of accomplishment. Ten of Wands doesn't really represent an accomplishment, but I feel intuitively that it's kind of talking about an accomplishment. And it's like once you reach it, it's like you're just going to be getting ready for a new journey with the Chariot. I do feel moving for some of you here. if you are moving, I get this like very strong sense that it's going to be like expanding your influence in a lot of ways. That could mean a million different things. For some of you, you could be moving, getting a job, and maybe you're getting a leadership position, so that's expanding your influence. For others, I feel like it could just be talking about socializing. So it's like you could be moving somewhere where there's more social opportunity, and that could be expanding your influence as well. But it's popping into my head. If I would say I'm getting the word influence very strong here. If you are an influencer on social media, I feel like this could be a very good card for you. I feel like there could be like a lot of growth and abundance coming in for you with the Emperor showing up there. I like that. We're going to clarify this here, Leo, and we're going to see what is going on here. In the middle, you have the Knight of Wands, definitely needing to go on an adventure. Like I said, Ace of Wands here as well. We'll take it. Why not? What I would say here is I would follow your desires with that Two of Wands. Like I said, it's like, kind of like the feeling I was getting on that Two of Wands is it's almost like you're kind of yearning for adventure, or it could be any adventure. People think adventure means travel. It could mean travel. That's definitely part of it. But an adventure could be building a business. It could be learning something new from the comfort of your own home. It could be anything, right? It could be baking a cake. That could be an adventure, right? So it could be anything. But I feel like you're kind of craving that adventurous side of things. I feel like your brain is craving mystery as well. The Knight of Wands can represent mystery, or like kind of like he needs something more mentally stimulating. He doesn't represent mental stimulation, but he does represent mystery. There are these three pyramids down here in the bottom corner, and it kind of represents mystery or something that's mysterious, but I feel like he needs that mental stimulation. He needs to put his energy into something, and that's like what you could be seeking. You could be seeking a new project or just something to work on, and I feel like that would be a good idea. Also could be love. You could be just like seeking love in general. With the King of Cups, you have the Six of Pentacles here. Yeah, I would be very careful to make sure that you're nurturing yourself, number one, right? It's like on the Six of Pentacles, he's giving to one person but not the other. And it can represent the fact that he is ignoring a certain aspect of himself, or he is ignoring something inside of himself that he needs to take care of. I kind of get that for you. Maybe you need to take care of your emotions, your health, your whatever. I would check in with yourself and figure that out. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Again, I would be careful. I would double check anything. If you're spending money on anything, no get rich quick schemes with the Knight of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. I would just make sure. I'd double check things. Investments, I would be careful of as well. With the Page of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. I actually kind of like this. For you, Ten of Swords is considered to be a bad card, but again, tens to me are the end. So I personally do not consider tens to be bad cards, but the Ten of Swords is like he's dead. It doesn't take 10 swords to kill a person, as I always say. So I feel like you are realizing that there has been a death already, though. I feel like this Page of Swords, the Page of Swords is looking off into the distance right here. And so I feel like you're realizing that you need to look for a new place to go, With the Ten of Wands, you have the Temperance card here. Do not give up on whatever you're working on. I feel like you need to see something through to the end. This could be a relationship, and maybe the end means a breakup, right? But I feel like for some of you, there is something here. I almost said it at the beginning of your reading, where it's like I feel like you hit a place, and I feel like you need to go past that place. Does that mean you have to stay in the situation? No. But I feel that there is a place that you reach in some area of your life. Like if it's money, maybe you always end up making 50 grand a year. Maybe when you start making 100, you go back to 50. They've done studies on this, right? People, they get into a comfort zone. They make a certain amount of money a year. Let's call it 50,000. It's like they've studied this where a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people who are at 50, then they start making 100, they end up going back to 50 because it's like a comfort zone. I feel like this is encouraging you, and right here, the beginning of your reading, the current energy, is like saying you need to expand your comfort zone, which I feel like I always say to you, Leo, by the way. But I feel like there's some sort of level, right? It could be financial for some of you. For others, it could be in relationships. Maybe you always make it 6 months. Maybe you always make it a year. I always tell a story. I have like an old friend. And she would always say, she's actually married now, and I remember before she married the person she married that she would always like say to me, and that she wouldn't allow boyfriends to come over on Thanksgiving with her family, right? And she was all nervous about inviting the guy that she's married to now. She was all nervous about having him over for Thanksgiving because before that, every single relationship she was in, her boyfriend would come over on Thanksgiving and they'd have a breakup. So like after like 2 boyfriends or something like that, she stopped allowing boyfriends to come over for Thanksgiving. And but now she's married to a guy that came over on Thanksgiving, and it's like kind of reminding me of that. Like there's some sort of level, or there's like some sort of boundary that you're like afraid to cross here, but I would just cross it. I feel like it's like you need to live it. You need to push past it. With the 4 of Pentacles, you have the 10 of Wands. Again, holding on too tightly is becoming a burden, I feel. So I feel like it's time for you for like true freedom, right? Is what I would say here. I'm kind of surprised the Fool hasn't shown up in your readings, or your reading here, Leo. With the Chariot, you have the Hermit, finding your inner light. I feel like this is what you're going through. I do feel like some of you are going through some darkness. I feel like this is more of your personality. I feel like this is something much deeper that you are going through here. This is a good thing. I feel like you're evolving as a person here, Leo, but something inside of you is changing, and this could be, I would be, I would be careful of like any angry outbursts, or, especially with people you're close to in your life and things like that. But, at the same time, I don't know. I think you're going through some sort of change, and you could be experiencing kind of the waves of the ocean with the King of Cups here as far as your emotions are concerned. Again, that's why I would just double check with yourself before you react to things, before you feel a certain way about things. That doesn't mean you can't have the reaction, doesn't mean you can't have the emotion, but I feel like it's kind of like saying that you are changing, and because of that, your feelings are changing. You could be feeling a little bit wavy. I feel like you're going to get through this easily. And you have the Chariot, it's going to be a victory, but it's almost like you're shedding your skin. And with the Emperor, you have the 5 Wands. 5 Wands is a card of conflict, competition, but it is a card of learning. I always say these people, they're using sticks. They're not using they're not using swords to fight here. They're basically learning how to fight. They are not like fighting. They're learning how to fight. So I feel like a lot of learning is going on for you here. Pretty interesting reading. The reason that I said I'm kind of surprised that the Fool hasn't shown up here is like the Fool can represent, needing to not be afraid of looking foolish. Like the Fool, if he wants to do something, like if he wants to start a business or get into a relationship, he doesn't care about being embarrassed if he's wrong. He doesn't have that worry or that fear. He's okay going through something, being wrong about it, and then, starting over again. The Fool, he starts the Fool, he works his way to the world, and then he starts all over again, right? It's like he's not afraid of embarrassment. And I'm kind of getting that for you here, Leo, where it's like there could be a situation in your life where maybe you're like, well, if I'm wrong, it's going to be very embarrassing, or maybe you're afraid to be wrong or something. I feel like you just need to go for it, is what I'd say here. We're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards here, Leo. And again, if you don't have questions, that's fine. I'm going to put them all together at the end. But we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. For question number 1, I would say yes, you have the World card. Exactly what I just said. It's like if you're ending a cycle, you're just going to start over. So yes. And here's your accomplishment, by the way. For card number 2, you have the 3 of Wands. I would say yes. I feel like there's a need to get moving based off of whatever your question is for card number 2, because 3 of Wands is like waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. So I would get moving. And for question number 3, 3 of Cups, yes, I would say yes. Putting this together, I feel like socializing and people could be very important for you in accomplishing some sort of goal. So if you're dealing with a burden, it's like, look, there's even 2 people, not just one person on this 10 of Wands. So for some of you, I feel like this is saying like teamwork makes the dream work. So definitely open up to teamwork. But I really like this reading for some reason, Leo. I feel like you're breaking out of something, shedding your skin. Currently, right now, could be a little bit uncomfortable, but you're breaking out of it. So this looks good. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.